Thanks for tuning in to one of the realest podcasts in the world, the land, the galaxy, and the entire universe. I have a special guest. This is one of my guys on the East Coast, down south. This man's an MC, a true MC. All right. This man's a boxing trainer. All right. This man love his family, his wife, his kids. It's so admirable to see that. This my guy, Ishues. What's happening, man?
What's going on, brother?
Oh, nothing too
That
much,
was a
man.
stellar introduction, my dude. Appreciate that.
Oh, no doubt, man. It's true, man. Like you really doing your thing right now, and I'm really proud of you. Seriously, man. You always
I appreciate
been
that,
a
man.
beast of an MC. Absolutely, absolutely, man. So what's happening? What's going on with you?
Man, nothing right now. I'm just preparing for the Fran anniversary. I got a show tomorrow. And for the Franny's Pharmacy anniversary. It's gonna be tomorrow at 5:00 at let's see, get the details. Yeah, so it's gonna be hold on. Yeah, Southern Brewing Company. Southern Brewing Company. The whole thing kicks off at 12:00. Doors open at 12:00. There's going to be an indoor stage and an outdoor stage. We got Liz performing, MedX, The Amblers, Gift Economy, Supernova Rainbow. We got Foreign performing, Hollow Body, DJ Bobfish, Alien Funk Academy. I'm performing at 5:00 in the indoor stage. Trevi and the Enemy on the outdoor stage. Yeah, it's gonna be dope. It's gonna be dope. So that's tomorrow at Southern Brewing Company. So I got that going on. I'm also working with a couple artists on a couple different projects. Yeah, man, I'm busy right now. I'm busy. So I got a lot going on.
Congratulations to you, man. For real, like you deserve it, man. Just stay busy.
I appreciate it.
That's awesome. Yeah. So how's the boxing training going for you?
It's going good, man. As far as the boxing training go, like, I'm trying to develop like a team of hitters. You know what I'm saying? Like what my man saying, what you call it, headhunters. You know what I'm saying? We go to different gyms and we headhunt. So I got a nice little crew. Of dudes that's ready to take it to the next level and start competing. So I've been honing in and focusing on them, trying to get them some fights. I got like a stable of like 6-7 fighters who are ready to take it to the next level, amateur level. But on top of that, man, I'm getting, my boxing program over at X3 is growing every day. I'm averaging out right now about 20, 15, 20, 25 students per class. I mean, it started off real slow. So, I mean, it's growing to the point where I had to have a meeting with them today about expanding the class and, opening up another class time. So it really is growing. I think it's just a matter of the words is getting around. You know what I'm saying? Like my training methods are real unorthodox in a lot of ways, but I feel like it's very effective. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like people who come train with me, they see that, and then they spread the word. And I have like people coming to me from other boxing gyms or other programs saying that they heard about me or they heard about X3, they heard about what's going on. And then they get a little dose of, what I teach, and you know what I mean? And, it's just been growing exponentially, which is a great thing because, I remember I'll take it back to like 15 years ago where I was just training, just kind of part-time training. I had aspirations of going pro. I had aspirations of going pro, back in the day. And but at the same time, I had aspirations of going pro with the music. So I kind of came to an impasse, and it was like, which road do I choose? Do I choose the road of? Because at the time I got my record deal, I was training for the Golden Gloves at the time, and I was also training for the Olympics. And I was trying to go to the Olympics. That was the goal that me and my coach had put out. And but at the same time, I got signed to Attica Sound. And I had a couple of different things and opportunities to go on the road and do a lot of traveling. So I couldn't really. I found myself in a place where it's like, okay, I can't do boxing part time. Period. You know what I'm saying?
No.
So it's like either I'm gonna put full time in the boxing or I'm gonna put full time in the music. And my dad was actually the one who helped me make the decision. He's like, yo, you planning on pursuing a career in boxing? I was like, yeah. He was like, no, don't do it. And what he told me was, he was like, for other people that might be a good idea, but for you, like, you gotta understand, like, you're gonna be putting your brain cells at risk every night. You know what I'm saying? And he's like, you got a lot of things that you can do with your brain. You know what I'm saying? Outside of just using it as a punching bag. So that conversation that we had, because at the time I was like going back and forth about music, boxing. You know what I'm saying? And so I chose the music route, but boxing was always there. You know what I mean? So I always told myself, all right, well, I can always be a trainer. You know what I mean? So about 15 years ago, I kind of started that journey, just training people in my spare time and, one-on-one sessions and stuff like that. And I always used to say to people, like, I want to be a professional trainer. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want to put my skills to the test against other trainers, against other fighters, against, you know what I'm saying, and see what I really know. You know what I mean? So I'm blessed to say, man, that, I've been able to realize that, and it's continuing. The brand is growing, spreading rapidly through word of mouth, and people are really interested in what I teach, and the classes are expanding because, like, we have a lot of fun. You know what I'm saying? I introduce different training methods and stuff like that a lot of people aren't used to, and we just get it in, man. So I'm really grateful for that, man, because it's like, it's like so many things, but this is just another one that I visualized years ago. Like, I'm going to be to a point where I'm a professional boxing trainer. You know what I'm saying? I'm training pros, I'm training amateurs. You know what I'm saying? I'm out here doing it for real. And at the time I wanted my own gym, but that's still a possibility. But for right now, X3 has provided me pretty much with my own, I'm the only boxing trainer there. So, like,
Wow.
the boxing area is pretty much my gym. You know what I'm saying? So, not necessarily technically fully, but that's my domain. That's my kingdom. You know what I'm saying? So, I just feel blessed, man, in that area, to be able to affect a lot of people's lives by offering a healthy alternative, healthy lifestyle alternative, helping people get in shape, and also helping young people to achieve their aspirations and maybe wanting to compete. You know what I'm saying? I got couple 15-year-olds. I got a couple, 19, 20-year-olds. I got a couple 9-year-olds. You know what I'm saying? Like, I got some, build a nice little stable. So it's been going good, bro. It's been going great, actually. You know what I'm
That's
saying? Real
awesome,
talk.
man.
Yeah, man.
So where's your love for boxing come from?
Oh, man, it comes from my father. It comes from my dad. Man, when I was, I can remember all the way back to like 9 years old. My whole I come from a boxing family. I come from a fighting family, to be more specific. I come from a martial arts and a fighting family. Like, I grew up around either street fighters, boxers, or martial artists. That's all that. All my uncles. My father is a lifelong martial artist. He still trains at X3 to this day. We still, mess around a little bit, spar, move around a little. He's 67 years old. You know what I'm saying? And he still could beat me. That's a fact. Like, if we got to a boxing match, and I could move around, tire him out, I have a chance. You know what I'm saying? But if we got to an actual rumble, an actual scrap, he got me. You know what I mean? We've gotten, we've dusted up a little bit at the gym, and he's proved it to me. Like, okay, when he really want to put it on me, he does it. And it's effortless, it's quick, and it hurts. You know what I'm saying? So he started his journey, martial arts journey, Golden Gloves, Pleasantville, New Jersey, Atlantic City, New Jersey, as a boxer. He went to the military and then continued his boxing career in the military. Got out of the military and started, into different types of martial arts. And he always had us training. We always had gloves. We always had headgear. We always had, you know what I'm saying? We would, as kids, we would do drills. We would, you know what I'm saying? And then, because what it was is like, like all of my uncles and his companions and stuff like that, they all had sons too. And they were all, either, like I said, they had reputations in the neighborhood for being nice with the hands. Some of them actually competed. Some of them, were in the martial arts, and they all had sons around our ages. So when we would meet up, they would meet up, it was always, yo, get the gloves, da 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 da. So we would have like these crazy inter-family tournaments, you know what I'm saying? Where like, we would be matched up with our cousins and stuff like that. And they fathers been working on them too, you know what I'm saying? And we would just rumble, you know what I mean? And then in between those times, we would go back to training. My dad was always real strict on training. We've been training martial arts, and I've been training martial arts and fighting and stuff like that. Like I said, the first clearest memory I have is 9 years old. You know what I'm saying? So that's as far as I take it back. But I honestly think it was before that. So since 9 years old, like literally my whole life has been, either boxing or martial arts. We always got together for the big fights when I was young. You know what I'm saying? My father always invited, a whole bunch of people to the big fight. So, being around gyms and dojos and all that kind of stuff or whatever. So, it's a love for boxing because I just love the fluidity of boxing. And actually, Bruce Lee was one of the people who got me into boxing. You know what I'm saying? After I read a quote where he not a quote, but, just read that he studied Joe Louis and Muhammad Ali. And, he would put that, you know what I'm saying? Put that boxing, that Western boxing. And I actually did read a quote where he was saying, Western boxing, to paraphrase it, something like Western boxing completes martial arts or something like that. The fluidity of boxing, you know what I'm saying? So Bruce, Muhammad Ali, of course, is my hero. Mike Tyson growing up, I was a huge Mike Tyson fan. We used to watch all the fights and stuff like that. Sugar Ray Leonard, you know what I'm saying? Michael Carbajal, Hector Camacho, you know what I'm saying? Like, these are some of my favorite fighters growing up. And, Hands of Stone, Roberto Duran, you know what I'm saying? So
yes, sir.
So it was just a family thing, bro. And like to this day, like still, like my whole family, all my brothers and my cousins and, you know what I'm saying, my uncles and stuff like that, man. And that's why I get a lot of my boxing training knowledge too, because I got a lot of boxing trainers in my family, a lot of my uncles and stuff like that who over the years have just poured, you know what I'm saying, knowledge into me, you know what I'm saying, because they seen that I was really serious, you know what I'm saying, about the craft. Even though I chose to go another route professionally, which I'm happy I made that choice. It was always there, and people always seen it. And so my uncles always encouraged me and taught me things, and you know what I'm saying, training techniques and train with me or train me. Then I started messing with Bunny Rabbit out in Athens, and that's where I got most of my boxing technique and my identity as a boxer came from Bunny Rabbit. You know what I'm saying? Training with Bunny Rabbit, Reginald Terrell, shout out to him. So yeah, man. Yeah. Lifelong pursuit, bro. I've been in this fight thing for my whole life, as long as I can remember. You know what I'm saying? Always been about them hands, always been about them feet. More about them hands than them feet, but I always been about just that, you know what I mean? Like, it got me in a lot of trouble too, because I did a whole lot of fighting coming up to school. Whole lot of fighting.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like all the way back to like I went to high school at Clark Central, but I went to middle school in New Orleans. You know what I'm saying? Elementary school and middle school in New Orleans. Like I went to school and we moved around a lot. You know what I'm saying? So I've gone to school in Philly. You know what I'm saying? Jersey.
It froze up.
New Orleans. Well, not Jersey. We was young when we moved out of Jersey. So I'll say Philly. New Orleans.
It froze up.
Oh, my fault. Yeah, so
No,
so I went to a lot of schools. Basically, like my growing up was a lot of different. I was always the new guy in different schools. Even when we lived in New Orleans, we moved all over the place. You know what I'm saying? I moved to Georgia and went to Clark Central. I'm weird because I talk different. I dress different. I wear ballies. I wear Jabot jeans. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? So like I was always some sort of problem, but I was always prepared for it because my father, like when I was maybe like 12, 13, he stopped. I used to get in trouble a lot. So he stopped whooping me and started just like, okay, get the gloves and the pads and meet me in the living room. And we would just thump. You know what I'm saying? At first, like I'm scared to hit him back, so he just whooped my ass. And then after a while, I started getting the courage to fight back. I mean, it's still a losing battle, but that was the discipline. But what it did for me was kids my age couldn't stand a chance. Like all the way up through high school, like use my age, you couldn't stand a chance. I mean, when I get in trouble, I have to fight my father, and he nice. You know what I'm saying? So like, I get into somebody my age or my size, not even my size. Like, if you anywhere around my age or around my age range, you know what I'm saying? Like on a 1-on-1, it's gonna be hard for you. You know what I mean? So that's been my life, bro. And that's where all this, boxing and the love for boxing. Like I had a love for boxing and martial arts and training before I even had a love for hip hop.
Wow, that's amazing. So how'd you make that transition to hip hop after boxing?
I wouldn't call it a transition because it's always been there. It's just a part of me. It's my identity. I'm a fighter. You know what I'm saying? So it's just my identity. You know what I mean? I got in, I fell in love with hip hop as a kid. And then, later on in my high school years, I started to kind of mess around with the pen game and realized that I had a talent for it. And then, I went back up to New Jersey and messed around with my cousin, and he kind of refined that for me. You know what I'm saying? So that's what it really was. It just, once I picked up hip hop, and then I came back to Georgia. When I got married, came back to Georgia, and things just started moving. You know what I'm saying? As far as the hip hop is concerned. So yeah, man, it's not necessarily a transition. It's just, I equally love both. You know what I'm saying? And I had the opportunity to do music, so I did music. But God is great. You know what I'm saying? I'm doing boxing as well. I may not be competing as a fighter. You know what I'm saying? But I know what I'm capable of, and I know what I've done. Like I've done a lot of damage in sparring. You know what I'm saying? Different gyms or whatever the case may be. So I know what I'm capable of.
Oh, I seen you, man. I seen some of your footage. You've been killing it for real.
Yeah, thank you.
Oh yeah.
So
I got to work with
like,
you one day.
My thing is, I don't necessarily need it. Like I don't need to say I fought professionally to validate what I know. For some people, they need that though. You know what I'm saying? When they ask me like, yo, I ain't never fought professionally. I ain't never done that. I know my shit though. You know what I'm saying? And some people doubt it because they feel like, in order to be legitimate as a trainer, you got to compete at this, that, whatever. But when they train with me, then they say, okay. Like even Tim Hall, he first came to the gym. Mm-hmm. Most fighters, when they first come to the gym, they pros and stuff like that. You be like, you train, especially if you ain't a pro, you haven't competed, they ain't trying to pay you no attention. You know what I'm saying? They feel like they know it. They ain't trying to hear what you got to say. He trained with me one time and was like, yo, I'm training with you, my new trainer. You know what I'm saying? And we've been rocking ever since. You know what I mean?
That's dope, man. That's dope. Yeah. I trained with Tim back in the day with we was with Jackie Lee Eberhardt.
Jackie Eberhardt. Yeah, my pops used to train with Jackie Eberhardt.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, this was like 20 over 20 years ago for sure.
Yeah. It was a while. When we first got here, my pops got with Jackie Eberhardt and was training with Jackie. I remember he used to tell me stories about watching him break baseball bats with kicks and all this other stuff. And then I finally met him. He's a beast. Yeah, he's a beast.
Straight beast.
Yeah, he's a monster. You know what I'm saying? So my pops used to talk about it all the time because, he'd go train with him and come back like, man, Jackie Eberhardt. And then I finally got a chance to meet him. You know what I'm saying? I was like, yeah, he a monster. But Bunny Rabbit, my trainer used to train Jackie Eberhardt. So that's how, you know what I'm saying, I kind of got to meet him, and yeah, you know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Small world, man. So with the hip hop thing, I'm kind of going back with the hip hop. Well,
go for it.
How did people take it when you moved back to Georgia and start rapping? Because you do have an accent. So how did people take that when they heard you do your music?
Man, I didn't get a good reception, bro. I didn't get a good reception. It's amazing to me still that I have a plaque on the sidewalk. It's amazing to me because I didn't cater to anybody. Like you said, I had an up north accent. So like even when I moved back, because my whole time honing my skills was up north, was in Philly, was in New York, was in Jersey. You know what I'm saying? So the whole time honing my skills, I'm in New York, I'm battling, I'm recording, I'm performing, I'm doing all these things. I'm on tour, you know what I'm saying? I'm moving around with a group called Deadly Snakes. They were signed to Tommy Boy right before Tommy Boy folded. So we moving around. So I got my taste of the music industry and professional music like long before I came, you know what I'm saying, back down to Georgia. But when I came back, man, I started making music. Well, first I started battling. That's the first thing. Before I even started making music, I knew it was like, if I could, I know I could do one thing. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't even necessarily sure about making music. I wasn't sure if I could make good songs. I wasn't sure if I can do all these things. I wasn't even sure if I could perform. I knew I could battle though. I knew, off the top of the head, I'm a tough out. You know what I'm saying? So when I came here, my whole thing was, I'm just going, who's nice with the back? Because that's the time where battling was the thing. 8 Mile just came out. You know what I'm saying? Freestyle battling was kind of the thing. So I just made it my point. I was like, look, I'm going to crush everybody in Athens. First one was Fort Knox. That was the first person I said, shout out to Fort Knox, David Freeman. You know what I mean? AKA Shaq. He was like the first one I said, when I get back to Georgia, I'm going to cut his head off. Because he cut my head off before I left. You know what I'm saying? When I was young and inexperienced. You know what I'm saying? In fact, he cut my head off and the 2 people I was with in one stroke. Damn. Like he just pulled out his sword and off the top of the head, just had all this lined up and took one swipe and all of our heads rolled off. And that was one of the longest elevator rides down Creswell Hall I ever took in my life. And then once I went up north, you know what I'm saying? Once I went back home, and I started really getting into it and battling and going to New York and battling Wu niggas and Jersey battling niggas. And you know what I'm saying? I'm moving around everywhere we go. Like, yo, it was me and my cousin. It was like, yo, them 2 dudes right there, spit. They just tell us to spit and we just go. And we had this unique style between the 2 of us where we were so similar and we knew where to come in so easily. We transitioned in it like kind of like Red and Meth. You know what I'm saying? Where once we get going, it's no telling where I stop and where he begin. It's like it becomes like one person. You know what I'm saying? Like we would transition in and out of each other so seamlessly that it's almost like one person. So like we would go battle and MCs couldn't get a word in edgewise. So we just, you know what I mean? We just be in there. It'd be a room full of MCs and we'd be the last 2 spitting. Like, yo, man, what somebody tell them niggas shut up? You know what I'm saying? We just be going off the top of the head, going off each other, laughing at everybody. You know what I'm saying? One of the best examples of this, we went to Brooklyn, New York, when the Wu studio was in the Billie Holiday building. We went up. It was me and my cousin, and this was when Wu was popping. You know what I'm saying? None of the main Wu members was there. A lot of the affiliates was there. Papa Wu was there. I mean, it was hundreds of Wu members. It was thick, you know what I'm saying? But one of the producers for the Wu, he was cousins with my man from Atlantic City. So we went up from Atlantic City to meet him. We spit for him at the crib. And he's like, y'all gonna be my secret weapon. So we went up there and threw all the, you know what I'm saying, all the god bodies and niggas, you know what I'm saying? What's today's mathematics and all that, you know what I mean? So finally got up there with Papa Wu, a bunch of niggas beating their chests, and I'm nice, I'm this, I'm that, I'm this. We just sat quiet, and my man was like, "Yo, go!" I swear to God, we ate the whole room. Niggas was like, "Yo, y'all still rapping? Man, we done." You know what I'm saying? And Papa Wu offered us a deal. Rest in peace. He offered us a deal. I didn't want to take the deal, so we didn't take the deal because like the deal was like, yo, I'm gonna offer y'all. This is what he told us. Offer y'all a deal. And people who know Papa Wu know the Wu. Like a lot of people I tell the story to, it don't mean anything. But when I tell the story to people who know, they're like, yeah, that's official. But he offered us a deal, but instead of giving us an advance, he was gonna give us some work. You know what I'm saying? At a really good price. So like go down to Georgia, go down to Jersey, you know what I mean, sell his work. You know what I'm saying? This is the price, yada, yada, yada. I ain't going to quote all that over airwaves. But like, yo, I'm going to give it to y'all at a really good price. So y'all could hustle that and make your own events. You know what I'm saying? And off of that alone, I was like, nah. You know what I mean? Because that just wasn't my thing at the time. At the time, I'm trying to transition out of street life. And you know what I'm saying? Like, I had my wife. Well, she wasn't my wife at the time. But, I'm thinking about making her my wife. And, you know what I'm saying? Settling down and all that other stuff. So I knew like just getting into that type of situation wouldn't be a good thing for me. So I wound up turning it down, you know what I mean? But, just the fact that we were good enough to get that offer, you know what I'm saying? It meant a lot. So it was always something like that, man. And we were just known in the area for like just slaying people. So I moved back to Georgia. I was like, first nigga I want to get is Fort Knox. And we had a battle at somewhere, it was downtown, I think at what's it called? What's it called? It's called something different now, but it was called I can't remember what it was called. Right on the corner
I'm trying
of
to think of the name.
right on Broad Street, cross street from down the street from the Arches, right? Like if you pass the Arches and you going to the east side, that next block right on that corner is that club. It has the upstairs. I cannot remember the name of it. Saved my life. You know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about.
I do.
Yeah, you know what I'm
I
talking
don't
about.
remember the name either. But
I don't remember the name
I
either. It's changed name like 2 times. But anyway, so I had a battle there, and I cut Shaq's head off, and then he became my manager after that, and the rest was history. So really, it wasn't even about. It was about I'm gonna battle my way to my opportunity, and then from battling in Atlanta and Athens, and all the different Breaklanta and Breaklanta, Our Nation, Freestyle Friday. I retired on there. Undefeated at MC War, still got the belt on my wall. Just all these different battle factions that I was just killing everybody. And that became my reputation. And then Attica Sound and everything else. And then the rest was history. You know what I'm saying? So, but that's how I started with battling. So when I moved down and I started making music, most of the I got support from the downtown crowd, the UGA crowd, you know what I'm saying? But like a lot of the locals and a lot of the dudes I grew up with and went to high school and stuff like that, they respected what I did, but they wasn't necessarily feeling my music. Some people were, but for the most part, niggas wasn't really feeling my music. And people had a lot of hate because I wasn't from Athens originally. So I would hear that a lot. Man, you from here. You know what I'm saying? And all this other stuff, whatever. People would try to come and, and try to challenge me or whatever the case may be. But, the battling was my thing. So, we can battle with songs. We could battle with performing, and we could battle off the top of the head, whatever you want to do. So I feel like I just became so formidable that people just started respecting me. And then later on in my journey, I feel like people started rocking with the music. But I got a lot of pushback because I didn't sound like a Southern boy. I didn't rap about Southern things. I didn't relate to what was popular at the time. You know what I'm saying? I kind of went my own way. And to go from that to, being honored by the mayor and the city of Athens and them immortalizing me by putting a plaque with my name on it on the sidewalk, it's just kind of surreal still to this day,
Yeah, congrats, man. You deserve all the accolades, man, because you really do work hard. Like you really one of the best lyricists out there, and that's real shit. I'm not even just saying that,
bro.
man.
Appreciate
You
that,
killing
bro.
it. Your new music you put out is fire, man, for real.
Appreciate that,
Seriously.
bro.
So during those times, did you feel discouraged to even pursue music anymore, or it gave you more fire to keep pushing forward?
Nah, yeah, I felt I went through a lot. I was going through a lot personally. I was going through a lot with my family. I had a lot of people who was, I didn't have many as far as my inner circle, my family and stuff like that. Sounds kind of weird, but I didn't have a lot of people supporting me. In fact, a lot of people didn't want me to do it. You know what I'm saying? So I went through a lot of personal turmoil. You know what I'm saying? A lot of things that I had to wind up sitting in therapy and talk about. Right. So it did get to a point in, let's say, 2009, where things are really starting to come around. You know what I'm saying? I'm in Africa. You know what I mean? I'm making a name for myself out there. I'm in South Africa making a name for myself out there. I'm moving. I'm doing a lot of big things. You know what I'm saying? Things are really starting to come around. But at the same time, that toll of constantly just going at it with certain people, right? Took its toll. And then at the same time, I left my wife and my kids to go to Africa. You know what I'm saying? So because I was over there and, away from my family and stuff like that, the family started to, I'm having family problems and this, that, whatever. So it really got to a point where I just was like, you know what? I'm done. You know what I mean? And I quit for good. And I remember Life, because Life was over there with me. And he's like, man, you done for real? I was like, yeah, man, I'm done. Like I'm the one thing I've never done since I've started a family was be a full-time father. That's what I told him. I was like, I've never really, because the whole time, you know, I'm having kids. I'm also traveling. I'm also on tour. I'm also in the studio. I'm always somewhere doing something. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not at home, and I'm thinking to myself like the ends will justify the means. You know what I'm saying? But I'm ignoring my wife on the low. I'm ignoring my children on the low. But I'm grinding so hard, just trying to make this thing happen. And you know, it got to the point where I almost lost everything. So I just was like, man, I'm done. And he was like, man, you done? I said, he's like, you ain't never gonna come back to music? I said, and I remember telling him, I said, you know, as far as I'm concerned, I'm done. If somehow, you know, God is God, so he make a way for me to come back or whatever the case may be, then yeah, you know what I'm saying? I'm going to travel the path that the Most High put in front of me. But as far as I'm concerned, I'm done. And that was it. And I didn't listen to rap music, hip hop music. I didn't perform it. I didn't want nothing to do with it from 2009 to about 2016. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
I just focused on my kids, just focused on my children, focused on my family, and fell completely off. I say fell completely off. I mean, by the time I started, and when I started back rapping in 2016, it was more so because I was a social worker at the time, and I was getting the toughest cases that they had. The DJJ would send me the toughest cases that they had. They would send me the little kids who was convicted of murder and all these other different things. You know what I'm saying? That other social workers couldn't reach. But because of my background in hip hop, people thought that, you know what I'm saying? So what I would do is I would go to the studio and record songs that I want with subject matter that I wanted them to hear. I would say things that I want to say to them in a session. I would put it in a song, and I would record it. And when I go see these kids, you know, I go in there with the badge, you know, the social, not the social, it's a social worker badge. And, you know what I mean? Like for a kid, especially in our community, social worker is the same thing as a cop. You know what I'm saying? So they don't want to open up. So I just come in, I'll meet them, meet the family. They'll tell me the issue. And I'll be like, all right, come on, holler. Let's go in the car. And we'll go in the car, and I'll put the CD in, and they'll be listening and be like, yo, this is who's that? That's me. And then they'll open up. So it wasn't even necessary to get back into music. It was just I was doing it simply for that purpose. But at the time, you know, my fan base and people who knew, you know, I'm faded from their memory. It's a whole nother crop of dudes doing their thing in Athens. You know what I'm saying? And for a while, you know, after that, I started, you know, like maybe 2017, I started messing around. Like, all right, I'm gonna put this mixtape out, The Bitter Pill. I did it with DJ Chief Rocker, and people weren't necessarily checking for it, man. Like I kind of faded from a lot of people's memory, and a lot of people who did remember, honestly, they like, yo, he had his run. We not letting him back in. You know what I'm saying? That's how I felt, and I vocalized that. You know what I mean? But I was never tripping because I'm like, yo, what's for me won't miss me. You know what I'm saying? And you know, at the end of the day, I did it once, I could do it again. You know what I mean? So to be at this point, from that point, I feel like it's the Most High. You know what I'm saying? I feel like it's Allah, and because I had no plans of all of this happening. You know what I mean? I was done just to have a second chance at it. And you know, there was a story about me that came out a couple months ago, Athens being a Herald. And although I don't pay too much attention to headlines and stuff like that or whatever the case may be, but the headline read, Ishues back on top, you know, with new album and new album release party. But that was the headline. I stuck to the headline because even though maybe that's not true, maybe that's just what that media person, that's just his opinion. But the bottom line is somebody felt enough to write that. And so for that, you know, I don't necessarily feel like I'm on top, but for someone to feel like that, it's like, how many times have you seen, or how many times you've seen a person start from the bottom, make it all the way up, fall all the way off, and then get up there again? You know what I'm saying? Like that usually don't happen. People usually don't get second chances. And if they do get a second chance, they are less than who they were. You know what I'm saying? So they don't reach the same height that they reached. I'm actually further along than I was when I stopped the first time. So to go from that to now being further along than what I was the first time, this is just God, man. You know what I'm saying? So right now I'm just kind of riding the wave, and I'm just grateful for my second opportunity. My mindset is different. You know what I'm saying? I've raised my kids. All of my kids are like, my youngest is 14. You know what I'm saying? My two oldest are married, starting their own families. You know what I'm saying? And so now, I actually can run freely, not worry about have to be at home helping my wife with the kids. You know what I'm saying? And all that other stuff. So it's just a great place to be, bro. And it's like to turn your back, not necessarily turn your back on something, but just to shut it down completely and reinvigorate it and move it along. It's just a blessing, man.
So I had a question too. Where did you get your name from? Ishues, like where did it derive
Ooh,
from?
my wife.
Okay.
My wife. It was her name. Yeah.
Oh,
I
I know
stole it
that.
from her. So the
Okay.
original Issues is my wife. I'm gonna tell you the story. She was going to Stockton College in New Jersey. That's where we met. And at the time, she was pledging a sorority. And they went through this. They pledging. They do the whole social probation. You can't talk to nobody, not even your significant other, all that other shit. Man, I was like, fuck that. You know what I mean? You're not gonna tell me I can't talk to my woman, man. Get out of here. You know what I'm saying? So she will always be in trouble because of me. So her line
Right.
name became Ishues. ISH because of me. UES. You're always having issues because of Ish. So your line name is Issues. At the time, my name was Anubis. As an MC, my name was Anubis. You know what I'm saying? And when I moved to Georgia, my wife was still in Jersey. And I came back to Georgia to kind of establish my foothold and then go and get my wife. And I'm at this point where I'm like, the first time in my life, I'm going solo. And I'm petrified. I'm scared. I don't know if I can make it. I don't know if I can stand on my own. I've always been with a group or a duo. When I was with my cousin, he was the strongest MC. He was the one. You know what I'm saying? I followed his lead because he was further along. He was older. He was more established. He was more, seasoned. He was better. So, so I would always follow his lead. And so when I moved back, I'm like, dang, man, I'm about to go solo. I don't know if I could make it. And I didn't know what I was going to call myself. And I started just thinking about where to go. I talked to my mom. And, that's when I really, because before that, I was all about street shit. That's what I rapped about. You know what I mean? Because I was living that lifestyle. So it was all about street shit. You know what I mean? And then my mom told me, like, yo, you got a daughter. First, my wife was like, look, you got a daughter. You know what I'm saying? Make sure you're not saying things in your music that she going to grow up one day and be influenced by. You know what I'm saying? That's going to be a detriment. So that's where the whole lane of just staying positive and not really cursing in my music, and you know what I'm saying, just speaking on social political things and just approaching the rap game from the standpoint of a responsible citizen and a father, right? So I asked her, like, I want to take your name. Can I have your name? And she gave me her blessing, and the rest is history. So even when we did the little ceremony downtown when they put the plaque in the ground, my wife was there. I was like, yo, that's her. She really owns this name. This whole time, I just been borrowing it. She's really Issues. You know what I'm saying? I just borrowed the name from her, and it stuck. And, the rest is history.
So you an imposter. You an imposter pretty much.
Stop with imposter. I ain't gonna say imposter. I'm gonna say I'm not the original. I'm gonna say I'm not the original.
Fair enough.
You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't say imposter because I'm not posing as her. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
I repurposed the name. Let's just put it like that. I repurposed the name. Yeah, it is.
Okay. So I know you was working on some songs for Was it the Shy soundtrack or was it Power or what? Which
Shot
one?
soundtrack, Power, BMF,
Dope.
yeah. Those are the three main joints that I was right. Some of them got picked up, some of them didn't. I think this season of Power, I got 2 songs I got picked up on this season of Power. I did get a song picked up for BMF, but the deal didn't go all the way through, so just let it go.
Oh,
But I still have I've been writing music for the music supervisor of these 3 shows. So the songs go into a pool, and okay, we may not use it now, but we'll use it later. We may not use it for this, but we'll use it for that type of thing, right? So we've already got a few picked up. It'd be exciting to see on the next episode, the next season of Ghost. That's what it is, Ghost Book 3 or whatever the case may be. I got 3 songs. Then I got a couple songs for like 2 different movie soundtracks that's dropping this year. So actually next month, I believe. So yeah. So I've been doing that. That's been going good. You know what I'm saying? But in between that, it's been I got a song with PO that I just did. You know what I'm saying? I'm working on an EP with Cassie Chantel. I did a
that's my
whole
cousin
album.
right there.
Oh, word? Oh yeah, we got
Yeah,
we
my
got some
little
dope
cousin.
music together. We got 3 songs right now that's stupid. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
And
really?
and
Okay.
honestly, with her, like I've never worked with anybody and come up with music with them so fast. Like we'll sit there and we'll just vibe. It'd be it'd just be the beat. Nobody wrote anything, and then we both would just start writing. She might come up with the hook first, so she'll spit the hook. By the time she finished recording her hook, my verse is done. By the time I finish recording my verse, her hook is done. Song done. Bam. We'll go to the next one. Next one, I might come up with the hook first. Then I record my hook. When I finish recording my hook, her verse is done. By the time she finished recording her verse, my verse is done. You know what I'm saying? And we just rock out like that. So like the 3 songs that we collabed on, we were just like, man, we work too good together. Let's just keep this going. So we got 3 joints right now. We got 2 more that we're gonna do with the band. So look out for that EP with me and Cassie Chantel.
Dope.
I just released a song with my man Oslo Panama out in Atlanta. We're gonna turn that song into an EP. So I'm writing for that right now. My next album is done. It just needs to be mixed and mastered. But this album that's out now was produced by Soul Messiah. My next album is produced by Duddy Kent. You know what I'm saying?
Dope. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, the whole album is produced by him. We got 20 songs in right now. You know what I'm saying? So he did all the production and he's featured on some of the songs. And it's fire. So that's my next project. That I probably after this run, you know what I'm saying, promoting this, I'm gonna follow right up with maybe around my May or June. I'm gonna follow up with the Duddy Kent album. And then towards the end of the year, around the same time I drop Legacy, I'm gonna drop the follow up for Legacy, which is I'm working on that now as well with Soul Messiah. So I'm working on my second album with Soul Messiah that I'm gonna either drop late at the end of this year or at the beginning of next year. But around the middle of this year, I'm also dropping a follow up album that was produced by Duddy Kent. So I got that. I've been doing so much writing this year. Last year and this year is just it's crazy. So I mean, I got projects out right now. I got projects that I'm working on right now. That I'm trying to recall who everybody I'm working with. My man BC, shout out to BC, Methuselah, Elijah Lee. I did a couple songs with him. We're working on an EP that's moving kind of slow. Me and John Cy Robinson is about to work on some music together. Me and him been communicating. Yeah, bro. Yeah, bro. My thing with
So
it is
how do
like,
you
look, I got a second chance. I'm taking full advantage of this opportunity. You know what I'm saying? So
right? So how do you sleep, man? When do you find time to sleep?
I mean, I don't
You
sleep
don't.
much, to be honest with you. I
Oh,
don't
jeez.
sleep much. That's one of the running jokes of the running. You know what I mean? I don't have much time off. I don't sleep much. Even when I do have time to sleep, like I don't sleep long. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So yeah, but I mean that's what it got to be. You know what I mean? That's just it's what it is. It's what it got to be. I accept it, and I'm just moving, and trying to accomplish a goal, trying to build something, trying to establish something, and I'm close. So ain't no time to sleep now.
So what is your ultimate goal with music? Because I know about boxing, but what about music? What are you trying to reach to? Like, what are you trying to do? Like, have a your own label? You trying to what is it?
I technically have my own label already, so that's
Okay,
that's not
okay.
it. I don't know, to be honest with you. You know,
You going for
my
the
my
most?
ultimate my ultimate goal ultimately is get to a point where music is sustaining me, and all the other things that I do is just extra. I'm not trying to get
Mm,
I'm not trying to get rich off of music. I think that's a pipe dream. Try to be rich or land this big deal or whatever the case may be. Um, I want to build up to. I want to go back out on the road. You know what I'm saying? Performing is my thing. So I want to get. I want this year. I want to start moving around on the road, and hopefully that transition into more. So I want to do a couple tours. You know what I'm saying? I want to go back overseas, do some more touring, and just maximize the spread of my music as best that I can, without feeling like I have to sign a major deal, nothing like that. Because I don't want to do that. To be honest with you, I'm not looking for a whole bunch of mainstream success and signing a big deal and, you know what I'm saying, with a major company. I'm not really looking for that. I mean, if it happens and it's the right situation, cool. But really, I just want to get to the point where I'm just doing what I do, doing what I love doing, and it's sustaining me. It's sustaining me and my family. Because right now, like, the bulk of my money comes from my other businesses. You know what I'm saying? Not necessarily music. So build up to the point where the music, you know what I'm saying, is the main thing, and then the other things is kind of supplemental. And then just do that for a while until, you know what I'm saying, and then let it go. And then just let the music kind of do what it do, and then focus on, either building up other talent, you know what I'm saying, or just focus on my other businesses and different enterprises that I have. Um, yeah, that's my ultimate goal, brother. It's not, and whatever comes along with that, it's great. I already feel like, I've accomplished a lot. You know what I'm saying? I feel like I've done a lot. I feel like there's certain things that I still haven't done, and I'm trying to do those. But for the most part, I don't really want much, to be honest with you. You know what I'm saying? Like, this run right here is probably like my last run. You know what I'm saying? And so I'm running hard. You know what I'm saying? I'm running hard.
yeah, yeah.
You know,
Yes, you are.
so
I agree.
so yeah, that's the ultimate goal, bro. You know what I mean?
Man,
And
that's
just leave
incredible.
and just leave a legacy, man. Like, just leave a legacy, man. That's what's most important to me, man. I want, 20 years from now, man, people listen to my music and have some impact, man. Like, one of the things that got me back into music is when I was out of music, people started, "You're Issues, aren't you?" I'd be like, "Yeah." I just be random. Like, I'd be, in Red Lobster with my wife or something. Just random. Just, minding my business. I got a full beard now. Like, I look different than
Yeah. yeah.
15, 20 years ago. And people are like,
Right.
"You're Issues, aren't you? You're a rapper, aren't you? Yeah, your name is Issues, right?" And it'll always be followed up by some sort of story about they came to a show, they heard something I said, and it changed their life. That's
Mm.
mostly what I get. It's not, "Oh, your music is dope." I was da. It was always, "I heard something you said. I went to your show and I listened to your music. I heard something you said, and it changed the trajectory of my life. Either I got my life together, I started reading about something you said, and it just made me think different, yada, yada, yada." So, it's like I'm impacting people. You know what I'm saying? And that's what's most important to me. Putting a message out there that impacts people. You know what I'm saying? That, you take my music and it stays with you. You know what I'm saying? That's what I want. That's what I want. I want people to look back at my music and be like, it was beneficial, it was powerful, it was impactful. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Um, I'm cool with that. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, getting a mansion and all that kind of stuff. I feel like I can get that through other means. So I'm not really, when I was young, I was chasing music for that, for the financial. You know what I'm saying? Now I'm not chasing it for the financial because I know that I could do other things to make money. But just as a accomplishment to myself, just reach that point where okay, I'm doing shows for this amount. I'm doing tours for this amount. You know what I'm saying? My music is doing this. It's doing these numbers. It's yada, 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 to the point where, okay, the music is really kind of taking care of everything for right now, however long that lasts. And that will free up space for me to kind of dip into my security company and my children's entertainment company that me and my wife run together. You know what I'm saying? My cleaning company, my graphic design firm, you know what I'm saying? All these other different things that I do. And using that to kind of build up all of those things. And then, you know, just keep building those things, man. And when my time is up, have some things established to, you know, get my kids, one of my kids might take my graphic design firm. Might get my, you know what I'm saying, this to, you know what I mean? So that's what it's really about for me, bro. You know, real talk.
Wow, that's incredible, man. Seriously. Yeah, I
Word.
mean, I think you should do like a workshop. I'm sorry, a workshop for upcoming rappers. You really should.
Mm.
Seriously. And I had a question. What do you think about today's hip hop? Because there's a debate. You know, you see the comment, you see the posts that people make. So, what do you think about today's hip hop versus when we was coming up?
Well, there's two parts to that question. Are we talking about mainstream hip hop or are we just talking about hip hop?
I say mainstream on the radio.
Okay, mainstream hip hop. I don't think mainstream hip hop exists. I think what we call mainstream. Well, I can't say that. I can't say that because there's people like, you know, J. Cole, Kendrick. You know what I'm saying? I consider them hip hop, but they're actually kind of old school now. They're not even really, you know, they consider to be older now. You know what I'm saying? You know, there's some dudes out there that's dope. You know what I mean? But for the most part, you know, a lot of the hip hop, people confuse rap with hip hop because rap is a component of hip hop. But just because you rap don't mean you hip hop. You know what I'm saying? So how much of the culture is represented in the music we call hip hop? You know?
Fair.
It's not much of the culture. You know?
Mm-hmm.
I remember back in the day, you couldn't make a hip hop record without a DJ scratching. You know what I'm saying? So the elements and the spirit of hip hop is missing from what we call hip hop music. So is it really hip hop music or is it just rap music? So I think mostly in mainstream, on the mainstream side, it's just rap, which has become the new pop. Rap is the new pop. Rap is the new disco, right? Think about what disco was before hip hop. That's what rap is now. It's not about the substance, it's about the feeling. So disco was.
Mm-hmm.
Disco was all about the feeling. Rap now is all about the feeling. So, you know, so on the mainstream side, I would say there's very little artists that I could point to and say they represent hip hop culture. They may be using elements of hip hop culture to get famous, but how much of the culture are you representing? You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
How much of the elements are you representing? You know what I'm saying? Peace,
Right.
love, and having fun. Higher infinite power, healing our people. How much of that do you represent in your music? And there's not many people who can answer that question to the affirmative. So I'm not gonna say it doesn't exist, but I'm gonna say it's very little mainstream rap that's out today that I can classify as hip hop. Now, underneath that, there are a lot of good hip hop artists. So I believe hip hop still exists. You know what I'm saying? But I just think that it's more in the underground. So hip hop today is still there, but it's just you got to go looking for it now. You gotta find the spaces where hip hop is celebrated. You gotta go there. A lot of times they be small crowds, they be small venues or small crowds or whatever, but the vibe be crazy. You know what I'm saying? Versus,
Right.
you know, you go to a Drake concert or whatever, whoever's out. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of rappers out. I can't even keep up with all of them. But that's how I feel about hip hop today. You know what I'm saying? I feel like the fire is still lit. The pilot is still lit, but the fire is not burning as bright as it used to. You know what I'm saying? Because back in our era, most of the mainstream artists represented some form of hip hop culture. Wu-Tang represented hip hop culture. Nas represented hip hop culture. Biggie represented hip hop culture. In their music, they had other elements of hip hop. They had scratching, they had cutting, they had graffiti on the album covers. They, you know what I'm saying? They embodied the culture. You know what I'm saying? You don't see that much these days. You know, so that's my answer.
Me personally, I feel like music production has suffered, like watered down in some ways, because it's easy to make beats now. You can just download stuff and there you go. Because when I started making beats, I had like a beat machine, I had a keyboard. I played in the band, okay? I played instruments a long time ago. And now it just, to me, it's just so cliche nowadays. I don't know.
It is.
I don't really feel it as much. I mean, you do have some dope ass beats, right? Some beats are super dope, but a lot of it just so I don't know. I just can't get into
The
some of
beats
stuff,
are
man.
dope because the producers found the frequency. There's a certain frequency that producers use today in popular beats, and if you listen closely, you'll hear it in all of the popular music. All of the popular music has a certain frequency in it that it's almost like sorcery in a way, like forces you. You know what I'm saying? That's why a lot of like the beats be selling the rappers nowadays. You know what I'm saying? How many rappers can you point out and say they nice without a beat?
Not many.
Not many. You know what I'm saying?
No.
That used to be a thing for our era. You know what I mean? Most of the rappers we grew up listening to, they was nice without a beat. They can get out and kill it a cappella. You know what I'm saying? You don't hear that no more. It's really about the beats. It's about the producers and the beats. And beats are becoming so easy to come by. Like you can get beats off YouTube and all this other stuff. But the producers have, the people in the music, advanced music these days, have understood the sorcery behind it. Because it is a level of sorcery behind it. And so they've tapped into that frequency that when you hear it, it automatically, you ain't got to hear nobody rapping on it. You vibing. So no matter what they say on it, that's how the whole rise of, that's what mumble rap, the mumble rap era taught us. These niggas was literally getting on 5 beats and wasn't saying anything. That was barely even audible. You barely even understand what they were saying. But they was making hit record stuff. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of the same thing. Like dudes get on the beats and they say anything. They just rap about. They just fill the beat up with words and the song become a hit song. But it really was the beat. You know what I'm saying? And the beat was dope because if you listen to beats now, they all kind of sound similar. We grew up, beats in New York sounded different from beats in Texas. Beats in Texas sounded different than beats in New Orleans. Beats in New Orleans sound different than beats in Georgia. You know what I'm saying? Everybody had their own unique style, their own unique sound. Now, the sound is so indistinguishable, you could barely even, like, you used to be able to listen to a beat and say, oh, such and such produced that. You know what I'm saying? Now, you don't know unless you know. You know what I mean? You can't just listen to it and be like, oh, that's a Primo beat. You don't even know. Like, oh, that's a Primo. That sounds like a Puffy beat. You know what I'm saying? Everybody had their own distinct signature when it comes to production. Now, everybody taps into the same pool, of production frequency, and they just kind of tweak this a little bit, change this a little bit, make little things different. But the frequency underneath usually be the same. You know what I'm saying? So that's what happened to rap these days. You know what I'm saying? It became more about the beats, and it became less about the talent of the rapper or the MC. Nowadays, anybody can rap,
Yeah, I agree with that. Issues. We gotta do a part 2 of this like real soon. By the way,
Let's do it.
We gotta do a part 2. So tell people your social media and where to find your music and merchandise as well.
Of course. I'm actually working on my website is under construction right now. So I'm working on my website. When the website is done, I'm gonna launch it, and it'll have, all my merch, videos. There's gonna be like I'm taking my time to make sure like I want it to be like super dope. So I got a lot of different components to the website. You're gonna be able to go in there and get merch. You're gonna be able to go in there and get my music, undisclosed content, unreleased songs. I got hundreds of songs I never released. Hundreds. I got like almost 300 songs that I never even released. So a lot of that's gonna be on my website. You know what I'm saying? A lot of projects that I worked on that I never released is gonna be on my website. So I'm working on that. So once that's up and running, I'll announce that on my social medias. My social medias are Ishues Cuthbertson, Ishues Cuthbertson. That's my Facebook. Ishues the artist for everything else. Ishues DA_artist for my Instagram, for my YouTube page. And is that it? Yeah. I have a Twitter, but I don't never use it. So maybe I probably need to use it more, but I don't never use it. I need to actually break back into it. I started it years ago, and I don't even know like the name and the password and all that other stuff. So,
me either,
yeah,
man.
those are the main ones that I operate off. Facebook, Instagram. You know what I'm saying, and then I post stuff to my YouTube channel. So, yeah.
Awesome, man. Well, Ishues, I appreciate you for coming on my show. I know you're busy, and I just wish you well, man. I do.
Man, I appreciate you for having me, bro.
I
I got much love for you, homie. So you know what I mean?
Absolutely, man. When I come down, I want to come to that gym for real. I do. I want to come down just to train a little bit with you guys because I'm not really like trying to fight no more. That's old. I don't know. I got back issues now, but I just want to, hit
stay
the bag,
sharp.
whatever.
Gotta stay sharp.
Stay sharp. Absolutely, man. Absolutely.
You gotta stay sharp.
You
never know when it's gonna save your life. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So you gotta stay sharp.
Absolutely.
I don't want to compete. I ain't trying to compete, but I stay sharp. You know what I'm saying? So
absolutely.
So yeah, man, I would love to, man. I'd love to train with you, bro. Like I'm really like I'm an admirer of your work. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like you got really good technique. Your kicks is solid. You know what I'm saying? Fast hands, all that. So yeah, I would love to get you in the gym and
I admire you too, man. That's why I got to work with you.
Let's do it.
We're gonna make that happen. We're gonna make it happen. So when I touch down, I'll let you know for sure. I will.
Do that. Definitely.
All right.
You got open invitation in the gym whenever you want. So just let me know when you're here, and we'll get you in the gym and we'll get some work.
What time do you teach?
Oh man, I go in the morning. I teach classes in the morning, and then I usually like leave in the afternoon. Sometimes I have like personal clients and stuff like that in the afternoon, but usually from like I don't know. Some days is my classes are at 11 or at 9 and 11. Some days is at 10 and 12. So either after my 11 o'clock class or my 12 o'clock class, either I'll stay at the gym and train, or I'll just go handle business and run errands. Then I'll come back for my afternoon classes, which is 5 and 6. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So a lot of times, sometimes I'm there the whole day. Sometimes I'm there in the morning. I'll dip out, come back in the afternoon. But I'm pretty much there most of the time. So yeah.
Dope shit. All right, cool. Sounds good. So when I do touch down, I will let you know for sure. Absolutely, I will.
Do that. We'll get in the gym and get some work.
Absolutely. Well, Ishues, my guy. You have a great night, my brother.
Man, you have a great night too, bro. Thanks for having me, homie. Real talk.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. We're gonna do a part 2 real soon.
Let's do it.
All right.
Let's do it.